Hello, today I'm going to show you another chimp strategy, and this chimp strategy will be with the perma charge. So to start off, I'm going to get Pat. You can use any hero if it's an easier map, but I would recommend Pat, Geraldo, Sai, or Etienne. And then I am going to get the sniper, just to help out with the early game, and basically we will need an early game carry because you can't really go into the turbocharge that well from the early game. So we get that, and I'm gonna get Pat generally down early. It's not the biggest deal in the world if you get him a little bit later, but we'll get Pat down and then go into the early game. So I'm going to do a 032 sniper, but you can use anything that really does the early game well. It could be an engineer, a ninja, sniper, druid, something like that, something that just works out. So we have that, and then I will get the tier 2 boomerang because it actually works out pretty well. When it comes to the cross path, you could either do 220 or 022, but I usually get the 220 because it gives us a lot of pierce that we need. And then after that, we can start working on the early game carry, and generally I want to get the turbocharge before the Moab, and I do go for a pretty expensive tower in the early game, which is the 032 sniper. So generally if you're doing something like an 030 druid or a 302 ninja, you should be able to afford it just fine. Alright, so here I am. We get the turbocharge before 40. It needs to be a few seconds before so we can get the ability to recharge, but we use the ability that cleans up the mob just fine. And now I'm going to outbuff this bouncing bolt just so it does more damage, but after that then you would go into your other towers. So next thing we're going to do is get the village and alchemist. So you get the alchemist there, you get the village. If you have space, I would recommend double discounting, but I don't really have space because of the way this map is set up, so I can't do that. And we can get the camo, alch buff, and we will have that step done. After that, we're going to need a little bit of a mid-game carry because the turbocharge can't really go into the permacharge by itself. You can use the turbocharge ability and the power to help out with the save up, but something generally that has a good pierce and good damage will work fine. So I just get a Nivemus and a more glaives and outbuff them. There are lots of different options that you can do, but that's what I chose to do. Alright, after this I'm going to be getting the permacharge. Now once we have permacharge, there's a few options that we can do. We either can pair this with a cheap tier 5 tower, so something like Pod, Sentry Champion maybe even, and then we will have that good, or we can do it with support, which is what I'm going to do here. So I get the stim with the cross path, and then I get the primary mentoring, and then I get a 410 ice to MIB skip. If you aren't really sure if this will work, you can get an MIB, but that will be more expensive. Then we get the Moab glue, and then what else? Oh yeah, overclock. We can overclock that, and then a few sabos, and then to round it off, we get a first strike for 100. And that is pretty much all the support you need. Obviously, I would recommend spending your extra cash and getting a little extra, but that is it for the abilities. It's pretty simple. Sabo, the DDTs and stuff, the permacharge, roar, abilities are really good for taking down the ZMGs. Don't use the level 10 unless it's on 97. It's pretty common knowledge already. And then for the overclock, you can just put it on generally when it comes up, but you could also be a little bit strategic about that.